Hello, professionals. My name is Rico Aladdin, and I'm the founder of Professional Lunch. This week, we are continuing our conversation on entrepreneurship. And Delson, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. Yeah, this is a neat setup.
Yes, indeed. So the reason why I'm bringing some of the younger entrepreneur onto the show is to hear how they talk about entrepreneurship, right? And so tell the Professional Lunch audience a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I graduated from Concordia back in 2015 with a degree in psychology. And from there, I did a bunch of different things. I did everything from retail sales, inside sales, law enforcement. I did a nonprofit. Gosh, and there's a couple more that I can't think of right now. And then up until 2020, so this is a week before the pandemic shutdown happened, I enrolled in barber school. And from there, that's kind of where it all started. And currently right now I have 3 barbershops and 1 barber school within the region.
Wow, 3 barbershops. And you did this in how long? Like 2 years?
2 years.
2 years? Wow, business must be good.
No, okay. It's great mentors. Great mentors.
Great mentor. You have a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who's your mentor, if I may ask?
Yeah, so it's so he was actually my instructor, barber instructor, and his name is Brandon LaFrance, and then his wife Leanne. They've just been great help, and
Wonderful.
You know, if I probably didn't have them, I'll be struggling a lot more.
No, that's okay. That's okay. So where is the idea of the business idea come from? Did they, the mentor kind of guide you through it, or did you have that idea to run a business since you were or younger?
So I graduated in January 2021 from barber school, and the goal was to have a business within 2 to 5 years. And I just threw out a goal, and I was approached within 8 months when I was working with Brandon, who eventually became my boss as well, and Leanne. And they told me it was time to go. They're like, "Hey, it's time to fly. Let's see if you can do it. You have enough clientele under you." And from there, it just kind of snowballed, right? I mean, I had my first one at 8 months, and then I had my, that's when we opened up the barber school 3 months later. And then I opened up my second barbershop in Detroit Lakes 5 months later. And then about 6-7 months, I opened up my third barbershop in Jamestown.
Oh, wow, wonderful. So by opening these barbershops, so what has been the biggest lesson that you learned as a young entrepreneur?
Confidence. Confidence is key. It's I always say this, but growing up, I felt like I've never been the smartest, never been the fittest, never been the most talented, but I felt like I always had those characteristics or abilities. I just never really had the confidence that I could pull it off, and that's when my mentors came in and like, hey, you're grinding, right? You know how to grind. You do have these skills to be to do pretty well in the barber industry. And after having my first business, I was like, okay, maybe that was lucky, right? Maybe that was lucky that I got here. And then after the second one, I'm like, okay, maybe I should be on this playing field. And then as I continue on opening up more barbershops, that's when the confidence grew.
So you talked about confidence, and you obviously had a role model. And so when you first started out, what fear did you have? Were you afraid that it's not going to succeed? And, did you have rejection I'm trying to understand how you started the whole thing.
For sure. Especially in the barber industry, right? I mean, there's a lot. So, I mean, you have to accept the fact that you're going to suck at something. And you're going to have to accept the fact that you may, especially as a barber, you may make a few mistakes, right? And allowing, just knowing in the back of your head that, hey, a friend comes in, that's cool that they're supporting, but at the same time, you may make a mistake on their hair, and then you're gonna have to get through that one way or another. So fears such as, am I gonna mess up this haircut? Or let's say that you have other barbers within the shop and they've been there for a few years, right? So now you're looking at their quality of their haircuts, and now you're looking at yours, and you're like, we're nowhere close, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the fears of just not being, not understanding the craft, but with anything, right? I mean, it just takes time, right? And the more more repetitions you get, the easier it's going to be for you. So the biggest fear for myself was just believe in myself and not really, obviously when you're in the midst of everything and it's chaotic and you're trying to learn a new skill, it's tough, right? But then over the years, looking back, I'm like, geez, I really had nothing to worry about. And all those fears that I had was kind of in my head, right?
Okay.
That's where it comes in confidence as well.
Yeah. So you mentioned you were in law enforcement, you were in sales. So why barber? Or why the barber shop?
Great question. Yeah. So I've been a wrestling coach for about 10 years now. And I've never had the flexibility that I needed within my other career. So my older brother Daniel, he's a barber right now at Skill Cuts Barber Shop, and I just saw how easy it was for him to have that flexibility. So I decided to, on the whim, try it. And when I started, it was March 3rd, I believe, of 2020. But then the pandemic happened, and that's when everything shut down. I'm like, wow, sweet, cool. So that took off I had to stay about a month and a half extra to complete barber school because of the pandemic shut down.
I'm curious if you can kind of summarize what you did for law enforcement, and then because what this show is about is really to give as many examples as possible to the college students to see that no matter where they are, no matter what they're doing, it's all a path to get to where they want to be. And so giving them a window into your career, now that you have multiple businesses, if they see themselves struggling, I want to give them that hope to continue.
Yeah.
So you went to sales, you went to, briefly tell me what you did for law enforcement. And after that, we're going to cover it.
Yeah. So I went to the police academy in May of 2017. And from there, I graduated. I got my peace officer license. So here's one of my failures. And I love failing. It's part of the process, and that's why I learned as an entrepreneur, right? You're going to have your ups and downs, maybe more downs than others. But so when I graduated from the police academy, and it was August, I believe, in 2017, I tried to apply for West Fargo Police Department, and I could not pass the police exam. Came down to the memorization part. I just had I had a tough time trying to remember faces, or they'll give you scenarios, and you had to remember, what the person was wearing, stuff like that, and just going. From there, it was tough, right? Because I graduated from Concordia in 2015. I got a psychology degree. They tell you go to school and then you'll get a good job. And I'm in, I went down several different career paths, and I'm still not figuring out what I want to do, what my passion was. And that was just, that was quite disappointing, right? I went to school. I still can't figure it out.
You were supposed to do.
Well, I was supposed to do, and I still can't figure it out. So I guess my advice to any person in college right now is be open,